realm of nightmares, two monstrous titans crossed paths for the first time. Freddy Krueger, the infamous dream demon, etched into our collective fear with his burned visage and razor-sharp glove, originated from the dark corners of Elm Street. Pennywise, on the other hand, the dancing clown with a sinister grin, hails from the shadowy depths of Derry, Maine, lurking in the sewers and feasting on the terror of the innocent. Both of these horrifying figures, each a terror unto themselves, are entities that thrive on fear. Freddy, with his ability to infiltrate dreams and manipulate them to his will, and Pennywise, who can shapeshift into your deepest, darkest fears, both exploit the terror of their victims to sustain their existence. Their paths finally intersect in the ethereal landscape of the dream world, a place where fear and reality blur into a terrifying tapestry. And so, in the eerie silence of the dream world, their chilling encounter began. In the eerie town of Derry, a palpable sense of dread had descended. The children of Derry had been vanishing at an alarming rate, and the sinister entity known as Pennywise the dancing clown was to blame. But even a malevolent force like Pennywise could feel the weight of a looming presence. Meanwhile, in a realm of nightmares, the notorious Freddy Krueger had grown bored with tormenting the children of Elm Street. The fear had waned over the years, and Freddy craved new challenges, setting his sights on the children of Derry. One night when the moon was full, Lily, a young girl who had spent her life in Derry, became the unfortunate victim at the center of their deadly duel. The two malevolent entities couldn't resist the twisted pleasure of fighting over her very soul. Pennywise sensed a new presence in Derry, an intruder in his domain. A wicked smile stretched across his face as he recognized Freddy Krueger. It was rare for another entity to dare enter Pennywise's territory, but this was precisely what Freddy sought. As Freddy ventured deeper into Derry, he sensed the town's history, the collective fear, and the torment Pennywise had inflicted on its children for centuries. He couldn't help but admire Pennywise's malevolence, but Freddy had no intention of bowing down to anyone, not even a shape-shifting clown. Pennywise used his illusions to lure Lily into the sewers, where he promised to protect her from the horrors that had haunted her existence. But Freddy, with his ability to haunt and kill through dreams, had other plans. As the tension thickened, Freddy and Pennywise, each a master of terror, began their ghastly dance. This was not a dance of grace or beauty, but one of power and fear, a chilling waltz between two of the most horrifying figures known to man. In one corner stood Freddy Krueger, the Nightmare King, a monstrous creature with a twisted sense of humor and a knack for turning dreams into nightmares. His fingers, each tipped with a razor-sharp blade, flexed with anticipation. His power to manipulate dreams was a terrifying weapon, allowing him to infiltrate the deepest, most vulnerable corners of the mind, twisting them into a horrifying reality. Freddy's laughter echoed, a spine-chilling melody that would haunt one's dreams for eternity. Opposite him, Pennywise, the dancing clown, grinned with a mouth full of razor-sharp teeth. Known for his shape-shifting abilities, Pennywise was a master manipulator, able to transform himself into the deepest, darkest fears of his victims. His eyes, a hypnotic swirl of colors, promised a terror beyond comprehension. His laughter, a high-pitched giggle, was a bone-chilling counterpoint to Freddy's deeper, more sinister chuckle. As they circled each other, the air crackled with the electricity of their impending clash. Freddy, with his dream manipulation, began to weave a nightmarish tapestry filled with horrifying visions designed to throw Pennywise off guard. But Pennywise, undaunted, used his shape-shifting abilities to his advantage, morphing into a terrifying beast that even Freddy would fear. The battle was a terrifying spectacle, a dance of horror that escalated with each passing second. Freddy's razor-sharp blades clashed against Pennywise's monstrous form, creating sparks of terror that lit up the darkness. Pennywise, in turn, twisted and contorted, his shape-shifting abilities keeping Freddy on his toes. This was not just a battle of physical prowess, but a test of mental fortitude, a game of fear and manipulation that would push each character to their limits. The battle raged on, a terrifying spectacle that would chill the bravest of hearts. In this gruesome dance of dread, the balance of power began to shift. As our fearsome contenders continued their grim duel, a turning point emerged in this macabre spectacle. The Nightmare Master Freddy Krueger, with his razor-sharp glove, was not one to be trifled with. His control over the nightmarish realm was unparalleled, and he had an uncanny knack for twisting the deepest fears of his opponents to his advantage. As the battle raged on, Freddy began to discern Pennywise's fear. The dancing clown, who had been so confident, so terrifying, was not immune to the terror he so often instilled in others. Freddy, with his wicked grin, began to manipulate this fear, turning the tables on the once dominant Pennywise. On the other hand, Pennywise was not one to be outdone. Known for his ability to exploit the vulnerabilities of his victims, the dancing clown was quick to adapt. He began to notice Freddy's own weaknesses, his dependence on the fear of his victims, his obsession with control. Pennywise, with his eerie laugh, started exploiting these vulnerabilities, turning Freddy's strengths into his weaknesses. As the battle raged on, Lily managed to break free from the sewers, leaving the two ancient rivals to their brutal duel. The battle became a twisted game of chess, each opponent trying to outmaneuver the other, using their unique abilities to their advantage. Freddy, with his control over nightmares, and Pennywise, with his ability to exploit vulnerabilities, both had their moments of seeming invincibility. The turning tides of this battle were a sight to behold, a terrifying dance between two masters of horror. The tension was palpable as each character seemed to gain the upper hand, only for the other to strike back with renewed vigor. It was a testament to their power, their ruthlessness, and their refusal to back down. This was not just a battle, it was a war, a clash of titans, a dance of dread that had the potential to shatter the world of nightmares. But in this nightmarish realm, nothing is as it seems. The outcome of this gruesome duel was still uncertain, and the battle was far from over. Freddy's dream manipulation clashed with Pennywise's shape-shifting, but Pennywise's advantage lay in his ability to draw on the deepest fears of those who faced him. He conjured images of the victims Freddy had once tormented, resurrecting their nightmares and unleashing them upon the dream demon. Despite the relentless assault, Freddy wasn't ready to surrender. He reached into Pennywise's own fears and vulnerabilities, revealing that Pennywise feared the entity known as the Turtle, a cosmic force that opposed him. Exploiting this weakness, Freddy launched a final attack. In the climax of this horrifying confrontation, the true victor emerged. The air was thick with tension, an eerie silence hanging over the battleground, as if the world itself was holding its breath. The final moments of this battle were not just a test of might, but a chess match of the macabre. Freddy Krueger, the dream demon, and Pennywise, the entity that fed on fear, stood toe-to-toe with each other. They were both creatures of nightmares, but their powers were as different as night and day. Freddy was a master of dreams, capable of manipulating the subconscious to his will. Pennywise, on the other hand, was a being that thrived on terror, drawing strength from the fear of his victims. In this final showdown, it was not just about who was stronger, but who was smarter. It was a game of who could outwit the other, who could turn the tables when the chips were down. Freddy, with his razor-sharp wit and cunning, attempted to trap Pennywise in a nightmare of his own creation. But Pennywise was not an ordinary foe. He was as elusive as a shadow, slipping through Freddy's grasp time and time again. In the end, it was a battle of endurance. They clashed and tussled, each trying to wear the other down. The outcome was not decided by a single decisive blow, but by a war of attrition. Freddy, despite his tenacity, began to falter. His power waned, his attacks becoming less effective. Pennywise, on the other hand, seemed to grow stronger, feeding off the dread that filled the air. The victory did not come easily, but it was Pennywise who stood as the victor. His ability to instill fear and feed off it gave him the edge over Freddy. It was a chilling reminder that sometimes the things we fear the most are not just in our dreams, but in the very reality we live in. In the end, only one could claim the title of the ultimate nightmare. In the aftermath of this monstrous clash, the dream world fell silent. The epic struggle between Freddy Krueger and Pennywise had reshaped the landscape of nightmares forever. Their battle, a dance of terror, left a lasting imprint on the fabric of the dream world. Both entities, though battered, emerged differently, their essence forever altered by this encounter. And so, the tale of Freddy Krueger versus Pennywise, a confrontation of nightmares, came to a chilling conclusion.